I'm Jeff Bieber. I'm president of Desert Roads and Trail Society, also the winner 4x4 Jamboree, and I'm here with the Trailhead Podcast.
Rev it up, let it roar, feel the ground shake. Pedal down, dust flying, no time to waste. The trailhead's calling, engine power on a roll. This is where trails start and stories unfold. On the starlit skies, where the wild things roam. Every trail a journey, every Jeep a home. Meet at the trailhead, where the wild ones run. The dust kicks high and the day's not done. With the road wide open and the dirt in our soul. This is where trails start and our stories unfold.
Welcome to the Trailhead, everybody. Tonight we have Jeff, Lorey, and Tim from the Desert Roads and Trail Society, Desert Rats, or DRATS, I think is the correct.
It all works.
All of those were all of the above. Okay. It is a nonprofit volunteer organization that promotes off-road recreation and responsible public land stewardship. DRATS has been instrumental in organizing the annual Winter 4x4 Jamboree that many of you, I'm sure, have heard of, especially if you listen to this show. An event that not only celebrates off-roading, but raises funds to protect and maintain trail networks in Utah. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Now, did I get anything wrong there? Because I threw a lot of that together at the last minute for myself.
You're probably going to do a better job than we are, so.
Oh, well, I'm putting this in air quotes. We're professionals here, so I have to at least act like it. So I try. So great. That's awesome.
Does that include us?
The jury's out. I guess we have to.
Exactly.
We can come back to that at the end of the interview then and see how we're doing. But probably, I mean, by the pure nature of existing, you're here. You're good with us, so you're in a good place. So let's see here. I had met with a bunch of people in Trail Hero. I did not get a chance to talk with any of you guys, but Trail Hero is one of those things for me that kind of has opened my eyes to some of the different off-roading things other than like the Swell and Moab and things like that are in Utah. And Pope and Randi are massive fans of Winter 4x4. They talk about it. They've been talking about it since we started the show, and it's their favorite.
Well, it's the first event that we ever went to as a couple, like, to a Jeep event, and it was the first time we were like, oh, this is what this is all about. So it's got a huge place in our heart.
And it's actually where we met a lot of our favorite people, like Julie, Aqua Jeep Girl, and Josie. We met them all at that event the first time together. We all went
We
there.
were all on trails together,
and now that's our posse we wheel with.
If you had a great time, I must have been your trail leader.
I've been on a trail with Jeff and with you, Tim. I know for a fact.
But you haven't been on a trail with me yet.
Yeah, I know. We haven't been. Me and Lori need to wheel together. We keep saying that over and over again. But
That's
we'll be
dangerous
down
to
there.
your Jeep.
Huh?
Yes.
That's dangerous to your Jeep.
I'm dangerous to my Jeep.
We're aware.
There is that.
Always like a little bit of. It's not hard to nudge me into dangerous territory.
No kidding. I think that goes for all of us, honestly. But you guys more so. I'll be honest. It's you guys. You guys take the cake amongst our small group here. So you guys are. This is the first time we've ever had an interview panel of 3 or more people. So I want to change how we kind of do things a little bit here. We'll end with Jeff, since while he may disagree, or you guys may disagree, he's the de facto leader of this situation. So I'll start with what's my left to right, and we'll start with Tim. Tim, can you kind of just introduce yourself? Tell us where you're from, how you got involved with DRATS, kind of the basics for you.
Absolutely. Tim Nelson. I'm originally from St. George. Grew up in St. George. I used to go wheeling in Sand Hollow before the lake was there. Matter of fact, when I was dating my wife, we used to go and have massive bonfires right where the lake is at on the weekends. So
Oh,
very familiar with Sand Hollow, love the area. I've been involved with the Winter Jamboree since before it was even the Winter Jamboree. I was involved with the previous two organizations that tried to establish an event down there before Winter 4x4 Jamboree came in and dominated the scene. So I've been with them since year one.
nice. All right, very cool. And in true school fashion, next up is Lori.
Oh, so I have been involved with the Jamboree since it started. I've been willing since I got married to my husband, Eric, who was out there doing the trails before the lake was there. So that's what, 14 years now? Yeah, 14 years. Jeff and my husband and I and Julie, there's a handful others that we started Jamboree together. There was a while where I stepped back because, family life, being a mom, all that fun stuff. But I've been back the last couple years and really have enjoyed it.
That's awesome. Yeah, doing these kinds of events can take a lot out of people. So you try to throw in a family on top of that, then yeah. All right. Well, and then I guess that leaves the main man in the room, Jeff. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm good. So,
How did you get started in all this?
well, I've always kind of been in off-roading. I grew up in Las Vegas, around bog bugs, different dirt bikes and stuff like that down there. I didn't actually start rock crawling or jeeping, however you want to call it, until about 2007. I always thought Jeeps were just made to go run dirt roads. And somebody invited me up on the West Rim, and I got hooked.
Yeah, that's usually what does it.
Yeah, I got hooked. I helped out, spent a lot of time on the mountain. I helped out with an event that was down here that they only had one. And then it changed to a different guy, and I helped him out for 6 or 7 years. And then I started the Winter 4x4 Jamboree. This is our 11th year coming up this January, so 11 years ago I started the Jamboree and been doing it ever since. I'm not going to lie, it is a lot of work. I've got a lot of good people helping me, and I couldn't do it without it. Lori and Tim, and I've got others too that help out. So right now we're running a board of about 11. And everybody's got jobs to do, and I guess I'm the one that makes sure they do their jobs. I guess that's what the leader does. I've used the Jamboree money to donate to various land use organizations. We had I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, we had a guy get hurt really bad. Took over an hour to get a helicopter to him, so I started a relationship with Search and Rescue down here. We donate a fair amount of money to them. They work the event for us. Couldn't ask for a better group of guys to cover the medical for us. So we donate to them. We donate to a Southern Utah land use organization, a Northern Utah land organization, and a national land use, BRC. Everybody knows Blue Ribbon. So they were in a big fight last year. They got the majority of our money. I think, Tammy, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Last year we donated off the event $72,000. The year before,
in cash, not services.
Wow, that's great.
The year before, it was a little more than that. It was up close to 90 grand. I think in 10 years, we're probably somewhere, our donations are right around 800,000 in 10 years.
That's awesome.
So
that's amazing.
Plus for the DRATS has raised money for various projects up on the mountains, restrooms, a 5-acre staging area, which they now call Whitey's Corral. Got a restroom in it. We paved the road going up to it. So in the last 3 years, I would say we've probably spent right at $1 million up there that we've raised and got grants for improvements on Sand Mountain. And that's what we do.
So when you started, so the event's been going on, I think you said for 11 years then?
This is our 11th year coming up this January.
Okay. And how long has DRATS been around?
11 years.
So it's 1 for 1 then on that one. You guys have just been doing this since the onset.
Yeah, there was an
Okay.
event here we were helping, and then it kind of went away. So we picked it up. BLM was real good with this. They actually told me to go ahead and have the event without a permit the first year, or they wanted the event to happen. So they didn't want me to have to wait on the paperwork. So I did the event, and a month later, actually I think it was 2 weeks later, I had the permit. So it was close. It was close, but they worked with us, and we've done several projects over the years for BLM. We've donated all the restrooms now belong to BLM. The staging area, it's all belongs to BLM up there. So
Okay.
we work really close with them. They've been really good to us, and it's a good partnership.
Okay. And so the whole purpose then of DRATS was just the trail advocacy piece of things. It wasn't, you guys weren't like necessarily just a group to get together and hang out and off-road.
No, it was all about the event and donating money to land use. The very first Winter 4x4 Jamboree, we had 175 vehicles here. We're running, with trail help, we're running 1,400 vehicles now each year.
Okay. Those aren't small numbers.
No,
Not for the middle of winter.
Yeah. Well,
So-
it play a big part in it.
Jamboree the first year, it came around when Sand Mountain had the land exchange. So our first few years were just a focus on supporting UPLA and the other organizations that were helping to keep Sand Mountain from getting developed. And so from then on, we've just kept donating the money to those organizations that help keep the land open and available for our use.
I mean, why not put it's like any company, good business, right? Put the money back into what you're using, put it back into the infrastructure. That's great. When you first did this event, were you expecting it to kind of end up still being here doing this, 11 yeyears later, 1,400 plus vehicles coming in for the weekend?
I was not expecting for it to get this large.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, when you start something, you always have high hopes. Okay. We have a lot of people show up at the Jamboree that just throw money at us because they know it goes to a good cause. We've had guys come in there and donate $500 just to donate it. Our raffle does really well. We actually auction off our Jamboree banner each year. It's a couple $100 to have the banner made, and the same people have since we've been doing that, they've been collecting them. And I think this last year they paid $900 for that banner just to have it. When people,
some people are suckers for mementos.
To something good, they don't have a problem giving it to us.
That's awesome. Okay.
One thing I'll mention, because I know Jeff is too modest to mention this, but I think it's an important distinction because you don't see this a lot in nonprofit organizations, right? But nobody is paid. In those 11 years, all the money that's donated, Jeff's never taken out a dime. None of the board are paid. None of the volunteers are paid. Every dime that the Jamboree raises is then used by DRATS to donate to land use.
And a lot of the stuff more recently is really visible, like the upgrade to the staging area at Waddy's Corral, for example.
It looks awesome up there.
That's something that we use multiple times a year. And, it's like our friends meet up there. It's a great meeting place. There's a nice bathroom. It's really well maintained. It's one of those things that we're happy to donate money when we go to Winter 4x4 because that leads to things like that.
And now you can get there without destroying your tow rig on that road.
Yeah, exactly. It's paved all the way to the main area.
That last
that's a lot
project,
nicer.
which was the asphalt going up to the staging area and that pit toilet, just the asphalt and the pit toilet right there was $500,000. That was 500 grams.
It's ridiculous when you start finding out how much all these things cost. Who out of this group, who wants to give me kind of a breakdown of exactly what the event itself is? What is Winter 4x4 in terms of what makes it something to come do?
That's definitely Lorey.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
she
Shots
it's her
fired.
turn. It's her turn.
I texted you earlier about this. You're the talker, not me.
No, you know what? I feel, here's the thing is, Tim, I've known you for, I believe my timer here says 16 minutes, and I believe Lorey. I believe that she is correct on this one and that you are the talker.
No, I mean, right before this call, she sent a text saying that she wanted me to keep quiet so that she could share her wisdom and knowledge with us.
She feels like she's stifled in meetings and such.
Yeah.
I get it.
Just so you know,
she wants to be heard.
I asked Tim to be on here, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that sounds like fun." And it took me almost 20 minutes not to convince her, but to tell her she had to do this.
Oh.
You're being voluntold.
Well, thank you, Lorey. You're fine. It happens all the time. He was just trying to spread it around. He didn't want to be the only one on here either. All right, well, so Tim, the barrels at you, sir. You're gonna have to give this breakdown, man.
All right, give me the question again, Piggy. What's it?
So what is? I kind of give us a breakdown of what the event is. Like, why do people come? Why do 1,400 people come out every year to do this in the middle of January in Utah?
Camaraderie.
Okay.
I think the off-road community is a tight-knit community. Could we be tighter among the various use groups? Absolutely. That's something that we need to work on. But among those groups, it's a very tight-knit community. And I think a lot of the big draws to events in general is to get together and for that camaraderie, right? One of the reasons I first started going was to window shop, right? Let's see what everybody else is running. Let's see how it works. Let's see what doesn't work and use that to improve, right? Definitely with Winter 4x4, there's an added component to it of the fundraising. As Jeff mentioned, we see massive donations that come in throughout the event.
The number of people that you guys have on your event versus the amount of money you guys are talking about you're getting donated it's an incredible difference. Statistically, it's a bigger number than I've seen or heard of.
I think that's very easy to point to as the cause, right? People, I don't think it's a stretch to say that Sand Mountain would not be there in its current form without the efforts of Jeff and DRATS as an organization. As Lorey mentioned, developers have been trying to get that land for decades. And we're very close several times. Had it not been for the fundraising that's occurred through the Jamboree, there wouldn't have been the funds available to fight them.
Well, and as somebody who is like, this is an event that I won't miss every year. Just because, first of all, number one, I love Sand Hollow and the Sand Mountain area, but you'll never get the experience Sand Mountain in a wintertime kind of a situation. Most people come out in the summer. It's amazing. And it's also small. Like a lot of events that people go to, if you're going to go to the Trail Heroes and the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasions and all those kind of things, there's so many people there and it just feels like a crazy event. This is more intimate. I've met some of my closest friends at this event because of how small and intimate it is. Also mixed with the added challenge that it might be snowing or raining or slippery. And there is nothing like Sand Mountain with a little bit of water snow on it or a little snow. I mean, doing Papa Smurf in the snow is a really interesting experience. It's a totally different trail when it's wet, and it really brings the driver out in you or the non-driver out in you in our cases.
one of the other things that we like about it and what attracted us to it in the first place is that the guided trail runs are run by people who are pretty experienced with the type of terrain and the type of trail that you're running. And it actually gave us the opportunity to sample and actually learn a little bit above our level when we were first starting out. We were able to do trails we definitely wouldn't go out and do by ourselves.
Absolutely.
But without someone's expertise on the trail, some of this thing is flat out ridiculous. We shouldn't do it. And now, we really have a lot of fun out there all the time as we go out by ourselves and play. But it was a lot that actually got us started and kicked off this crazy journey we're on now.
It really did. And I think that the people that are out there, the camaraderie, even though it's a big event, but it's not a huge event. And so you see everybody who's there and there's just a fun energy about it. So I don't know. It's our favorite event and it's our non-miss every single year. And it goes to Helping Sand Mountain, which is one of our biggest favorite places in all of the world. So
Pope kind of mentioned it. So these, I don't know if we mentioned it, but these are guided trail runs, right? Like this is for the event itself. It's an opportunity for people to get out there and actually get up on Sand Mountain in this particular instance in the cold and sometimes the more inclement weather, and kind of learn what you can do with these vehicles in a more controlled environment where someone will show you around. That's correct, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. Every trail has a trail leader, a mid gunner, and a tail gunner, and some trails may have a few more extra help. And so they're always really good about spotting people if they need a spot. If they have their own spotters, that's fine. It's just about getting people out there and on the mountain. As you know, wintertime kind of takes that rating up just a notch. So you may be signing up for a 5, but if it snows, that might be a 7 now. So that help is really important.
Okay. But the snow on the red rocks makes it worth it. It's unbelievably gorgeous.
It is so gorgeous. I agree completely.
And
it gives just a little bit of slip that you're not used to.
It's usually gone by noon. Yeah, like Jeff said. Yeah. But it's so fun.
I love hearing that the event feels intimate, right? We try hard. All of our trails are capped at a certain number of participants for that reason, so that nobody feels like they're off by themselves struggling, right? We've got a specific ratio that we maintain between participants and trail help for that specific reason.
That's fantastic. And I think the size of the event too, like I know you guys you've gotten a little bit bigger, but that's still, compared to what we just experienced for Trail Hero, that's a much more reasonable number of people to be on the mountain for that kind of event.
The event is manageable where it's at.
So I have another question then, because Lorey touched on it. So what is your guys's trail rating system for Sand Mountain? Are you on the 1 to 10 scale? Are you on the 1 to 15? Are you on the 1 to rich scale? What are you at?
1 to 10, and everything out beyond that is buggy.
Okay. That's for me, that's a lot simpler of a rating system. So that works. Okay. And because I imagine do you guys get a lot of buggies? What's your average kind of participant in these events? Is it like the 35s?
We used to get quite a few buggies. They've tapered off. Maybe they quit buying heated seats and they quit coming. I have no idea. It's too cold for that time of the year. I don't know. We're getting more and more of the overlanders are coming into the event, and the buggies are tapering off from the numbers that we started with 11 years ago. I don't know why. I haven't asked. It really doesn't matter as long as people come.
A couple of my friends comment that when it gets that cold, you don't have a heater, you don't have windows, you don't have a heated seat potentially. Your roof is definitely smaller, so you're not able to stay warm in that kind of terrain. And I think that might be part of why the buggies are tapering off, and it's primarily Jeeps out there.
Those guys are such pansies. Keep in mind the average temperature is 50. The average temperature is like 50 during the event.
Get a heated jacket.
I live up in Salt Lake. It's like 17 degrees right now.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm from Chicago.
We're in Salt Lake, and we just got this weird haily snow thing that just happened a second ago.
But at least it cleared out the inversion.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
It
Beautiful
is.
right now. You can see the mountains again.
Nice. That's probably why we got walloped today.
Yeah, because Matt wants to build a buggy, and everyone's trying to talk him out of it because he's going to freeze to death because he's from Arizona.
Well, it's because he drove the buggy that's on the raffle.
Yeah, he drove the giveaway buggy, and now he's
And now
addicted.
he thinks he's a buggy guy.
He did a pretty gnarly obstacle in that thing. So we had a local guy, Jeff Garn. He donated a buggy to Desert Roads and Trail Society, and he asked that the money go towards improvements in our area for off-road use. And so the board
That's really great.
tossed it back and forth whether or not they just wanted to sell it outright or try for a raffle and give other people a chance for a smaller amount of money that they put in. And so they decided to do the raffle, and that's what we've been working on. It'll be drawn shortly after Jamboree so that people can see it during Jamboree, and we've been working hard on getting some exposure out there on it. We're hoping to raise more than we've got so far. So
It gets a little bit better, especially after. I feel like it always gets better after the holidays when people realize they're not as broke as they thought they were, most of the time anyway.
exactly.
How many days of runs are you guys doing? Because this isn't like Trail Hero, right? This is not like a week-long event.
Yeah, it's 4 days of guided trail runs.
I mean, that feels manageable.
And then previous years, we did some events at Stookie Farms, and it just was a little too far out of the way for everybody. So last year, I threw together, like very last minute, a meet and greet. And Randi and Pope were very awesome to come and show up. Come again this year.
Yeah.
And
Happy
so
to.
we just had some games. We hung out. And we also had a little BRC specific raffle because they were in the fight for Moab at that moment. And so we were trying to raise additional funds for them. And so we did that on Thursday night. Wednesday's just trail runs and pick up your packets and things like that. Thursday night, there's that in the afternoon with some food trucks. The vendors are open. On Friday, there is the vendor bingo show. So the vendor show is open, and when you go visit the booths, you can get a stamp and you can put that in to win a prize. And then
Cool.
Saturday night is our dinner and our raffle and our kids raffle. And on Saturday, there's also Tread Lightly sponsors a mountain pickup with the kids. So the kids get trash bags, and whoever brings in the most trash at the end of the trail gets a candy bar from the trail leader.
That's great.
That helps make sure the mountain's clean when the event's over.
Yep.
Yeah,
and it
that's a
teaches
fun way to make it clean.
The kids love it. You'd be surprised what kids do for a candy bar.
Child labor is child labor. I'll tell you. I mean, seriously,
but it's also teaching them how to be stewards at the same time.
I 100% ingest. It's just I was a Boy Scout. I participated in those same events, so I get it, and I actually encourage it. It's a great way to just teach kids to get out there and at least be responsible for the stuff that they're playing on and that they're having a good time on. So you got trail runs. Do you guys do a vendor show?
Yeah.
The vendor show is. Go ahead, Lorey. You were doing
all the sponsors have booths, and other people also purchase booths. So we've got Easy Flates usually there. It's presented by Stephen Wade, our big sponsor, and then we have Weston and Super Wench, and they're a great bunch of people. Next Venture Motorsports. This year we have a new person, All Hose, out of Vegas coming in. They seem really awesome. They did something with Full Size Evasion in Sand Hollow not that long ago. So we've got a lot of vendors too, as well. There's Mojab and JM Rigging is always there. Rockslide Engineering, Just for Fun, has been a supporter since day one. And this year they've stepped up and they've gone to platinum. And they have been a sponsor since day one. So we've got a lot of really local companies to Utah that come and help support us.
Awesome. Okay. And do Do most people camp on site? Do they do? Because I know it's still. I mean, it's January. It's kind of cold at night, and so is it mostly off-site stuff, and then everybody kind of congregates there during the day?
Our event is centered at the fairgrounds because it is winter. You can't really hold a large amount of people to congregate without a building. So we do
Fair
it at the
enough.
fairgrounds where it's warmer, where we can go inside. And so there's dry camping available there. And then other people will rent RV spots or still stay at Sand Hollow and then join the trails from there. And then other people just rent motels. There are some discounts on our website for certain motels and different accommodations as well.
Yeah, I would say probably predominantly hotels.
Right. We usually Airbnb or hotel, but I've seen a number of people with their RVs parked there. So is there a charge to park at the campground, or is that whoever wants to park there with their RV, they can camp there?
It's totally free. It's a first come, first serve. 2 years ago, the county expanded the parking lot. So, I mean, we could probably house 50% of the people that come right there at the fairgrounds if they choose to stay out there in their RV.
A lot of people park their long trailers there, and it's a good staging area for that too.
Yeah,
So,
across the road from the buildings, on the upper level, we have there's an overflow parking lot where people can leave their trucks and trailers there for the week. So that keeps
Which
them,
is nice.
you know.
All right.
We just stayed down. We just went down a couple weeks ago, and we stayed at Jellystone, and that's a pretty fun option if you have kids. I thought that was cool. And if you have trailers
as well. So there's a discount for the RV on the website.
It was just a fun place. I just thought if I had kids, I would stay there all the time. It was really, really cute.
Those things are great for kids. We have a couple of those in Colorado, and they're fantastic. Like just they're massive. They're usually pretty massive, but they're fantastic. They're like the Buc-ee's of campgrounds.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it right there.
It was so fun. I thought it was cute. I was very entertained. And I loved my little roof, sitting there watching the sunset in Sand Hollow with a 360 view of all the like stuff. Like that's a terrible place to sit.
Yeah. They've gotten a little bougie in the last few years. I mean, I'm here for it, but hey, it is what it is. I'm also an older person now. I hate the cold, and I hate laying on. Yeah, I hate the cold. I hate laying on the ground. How many? So you guys, you touched on it earlier. How many volunteers does it take for the actual event itself?
We're right at 200 volunteers.
It's just a ton of people.
That
I mean, that's awesome though.
Does that include your trail guides and every?
That's the leaders, the mid gunners, the tail gunners, the staff inside the building for registration, the board members. We run real close to 200, maybe even a little more.
It's just incredible. And it's always incredible to me that you guys can manage to coordinate that many people doing that stuff over the course of 4 days. That's just,
yeah.
I know it's a Herculean effort to do it.
There are many times on Sunday we go out to Will and we just end up sitting there.
We just park somewhere.
We find a really cool spot and we sit down and we're like, we're done.
Away from the side by side, complete quiet. And we just sit there and BS all day and relax.
I mean, seriously, that sounds like the best way to decompress when you're done with it at that point. Just, it's my biggest thing about these trails isn't always the obstacles. It's about getting to the place at the end of it where you can just stop and actually breathe and turn your phone off. So let's see here. We've got all of the history kind of going on with you guys with terms of DRATS and Winter 4x4 as a whole. Do you guys measure kind of how much you, because I know Rich does this for Trail Hero. A couple of organizations here do that here where they kind of measure the impact that their events kind of have on the community around them. Do you guys take any of those measurements, either financially or otherwise?
The county actually figures that for us. I give them all the numbers. Cool. Our website, we can get all the numbers off our website just by running a report. We give that to Raider Zion, who is one of our sponsors, actually. And then they figure our economic impact. And we're right around 2.5 million for economic impact for 4 days.
That's incredible. And again, it's January. It's off-roading in January, and I can't even begin to describe to you how
Well, we're not in
insane to me
Colorado.
that sounds.
Most of the time, the weather is perfect.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I mean,
We're
but you
actually
get
high
like
desert, so I mean, it can go. We've had good years, we've had bad years. We've had years where we're out there in t-shirts by the end of the day.
uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Oh, absolutely.
Most years.
Most years you're out there in t-shirts, but then you get like one funky day, and then other years you get snow. Like you just don't know. Like it's just.
I'm
And
okay
it could
with
be
snow
a
in Utah.
t-shirt on Wednesday and then snow on Friday.
I mean, that sounds about right. What's been your most extreme weather event that you guys have had there, either hot or cold, for January? Something hot would be like, I don't know. I don't know what's too hot in Utah in January, like 90.
There's no such
50,
thing.
50, I would say 50. And then we've had as much as 4 inches of snow for an event.
Once.
Huh?
The
Well-
snow year was rough.
Yeah.
It snowed one day. The
And
poor
then-
trail help. I was leading that day. I wore a pair of jeans and I had like a Carhartt on. And by noon, I was soaking wet, freezing. And the last guy that I spotted up one of the major obstacles, he had one of those big tubs of licorice. And he's like, "You look cold. Do you want some licorice?" And it was the highlight of my event.
Oh wow!
It was the mud. It's the mud with
Yeah.
the snow.
That year was rough. I have never, that wedge and nasty half, I have never, ever slipped in that thing. That year, trail lead, slipped in the wedge and nasty
Oh my
half.
gosh.
Had to have other people come around and winch me out. First time ever.
And you know,
It's
That snow,
slick.
it ups
we
that
get a
rating.
lot of trail help that are they're running their JKs. It's a daily driver or grocery getter, whatever you want to call it. And they're on 35s, and they
I think those of us with 35s would like you to stick with daily driver.
No.
Thank you very much.
don't get snow, and then the trail leader comes in and says,
Grocery getter.
"I can't lead that trail. What do I do?" I'm like, "Just take them out on the sand dunes and let them play till the snow disappears. They paid to be here. Just get them out.
hmm
Nobody cares."
Honestly, when people come to these kinds of events, it's more about getting there and doing something and having a good time with people that like to do the same thing.
It just takes
So.
you one day of doing it on slip and slide, and then you're like, okay, you just need a little more momentum.
A lot of will
And then
speed.
you really like it.
A lot of wheel speed.
A lot of wheel speed. That fine sand
You go
gets
from-
wet and it turns into like,
Yeah, you went from Velcro to a slip and slide,
and it's fun.
it's a whole different experience. It's a lot of fun. I thought it was a treat when we were able to wheel on Papa Smurf with 3 inches of snow on it. That was a blast.
But it was muddy.
That wall through
Uh-huh.
Arrowhead.
That
Oh, yeah.
wall. Oh,
Out of Arrowhead.
it was.
Oh,
Uh-huh. It was like you had to keep your momentum completely or you're gonna slide back.
Yeah.
It's a lot of winching.
There was, I think.
There was a lot of wenching.
One person rolled over.
We did get a roll
Just one?
back here.
I'm
That-
kind of
that-
surprised by that.
that time
With
only
that
one,
much
yeah.
slippery.
Yeah.
Okay. That time only
So we-
one.
That's only one run. I think
Yeah,
I
it's
put
just
up
one run.
7 rolls that day.
Yeah.
7, you said? 7 rolls. Wow.
We had an interesting day.
Yeah.
Most of the Jamboree rules now that are enforced on the trail leaders are allegedly because of issues on my trails.
Well, wait.
I need to
What-
get the list of what you're running now, Tim.
Yeah.
'cause it
And
sounds
what
like
kind of
fun.
rules are we talking about, Tim? And
No
Uh,
optional obstacles.
no
okay,
optional
there it is.
obstacles.
Look, all of these trails, they have a certain rating, right? But 2 feet to the left or 2 feet to the right, you get dramatically different experiences, dramatically different ratings. So it's
Mhm.
tough for the trail guides that have run them dozens of times not to want to play a little bit. But the problem is, when one
Problem
person
is-
plays, then egos get involved and everybody has to do it.
Yeah.
And then it becomes
Well,
a long
the other
day.
thing that's hard is people like us that come down a lot. We know a lot of the optionals, or we know that there's optionals we want to play on. But in that environment, it's not good for us to be doing that, because then it becomes a circus and everybody wants to play on it. And there's great people breaking or having little damage.
It's like Resurrection, the little offshoot.
Like
it's like, can I please? The women's run last year with like waterfall coming down the entire thing and having a bunch of women and having a F-150 on Resurrection with us that had no lift and like, what was it, 31 tires. So that was a good time. And it was wet.
It had bigger tires than a stock Gladiator.
I don't know. It might have been 35s, but it was 35s, no lift, F-150.
Jeff,
and it was wet.
Do you remember the cleanup day, the National Public Cleanup Day that we did, 7 years ago? And we went up Nasty Half, and the water was like a waterfall coming down. Like it was up to my knee almost, driving through Nasty Half. I'm like, I don't think much cleaning's happening today.
We had 2 feet of water coming through the tunnel.
Yeah, nature's taking care of it.
Oh my gosh, that one year where it was like an obstacle coming out because it had washed like that. You guys had the tsunamis basically, like
washed out right in front of the tunnels.
No, it wasn't a tsunami. We had 300 storms in a month.
Yeah, exactly.
We were down there for Labor Day, and it was like 100 and something degrees. For Labor Day, it was like a abnormally hot Labor Day, and then all of a sudden you had like monsoon season for like a whole month, and then it was Trail Hero, and it was like totally different from Labor Day to was it?
It was from Trail Hero to Winter 4x4.
Yeah, Trail Hero to Winter 4x4. It like cleared out that whole entire area. It was nuts. You just never know.
There's a few trails. It depends on the sand, on what the rating actually can be. Totally changes it.
All right, well, so I want to run around the room here with a couple of questions. My first question, though, is to whomever has the answer to this one. So do you guys have anything that we haven't talked about that you're doing special this year, or that you might be doing next year?
No.
It doesn't have to be anything special.
Well, we don't like to let...
And you don't have to say it if you can't say it.
No, we could, but I don't think we're doing... We've got some stuff we're doing a little bit different than last year. The meet and greet, we've got some different stuff going on there this year. Last year was our first year doing it, so we're trying to improve on that.
Okay.
And I really have no clue what I'm doing, so we'll go with it.
Don't believe that she does.
A good job,
Lorey, none of us have a clue.
Really good job.
You're fine. Yeah. We're all guessing.
Well, last year the meet and greet was funny for us because we haven't been involved in something like that before, and
now they're old hats at it. And
it was Matt's Off-Road Recovery and the Peck brothers, and then it was Matt and Julie and Josie and Randy and our friends after that, and it was like, are we the replacements? Like Light Bright's not here, Mr. Baker's not here.
We're the plan B. We were the plan B.
But actually, we had a blast.
Canceled on us.
Yeah, but we had a blast doing it anyway, though.
It was fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was just really funny because we're like, oh, wait a minute, what's going on?
I want all the people. I don't want just all the big people. I want everybody who enjoys wheeling down mountain.
Now, the meet and greet had a lot of fun rigs in it. It was like lots of different people scattered around the building, both coming in the entrance and everywhere else. So, yeah, it was a good time. It was a good way to meet people.
All right. Well, if I make it there this year, maybe we record the show that day.
That'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
So now I want to go around the room here real fast, since I have a panel. This is very weird. I don't normally have like a panel of guests to like pick and choose from for answers. It's great.
Don't you need to pick on?
Well, yes, but I don't know you well enough yet. So the next time you guys are on the show, it's probably going to be a little bit more brutal. I'm just warning you right now.
We pick on each other all the time, so we're good.
Okay, good.
We'll just have other board members.
There it is. See, because I can already feel like I can do that. Tim and I are there. Like I already know he's gonna be a problem. So, but I'm gonna come to him last. Lorey, I wanted to ask you first. Do you have any you've been doing this event for the majority of, if not all of them, in some way capacity? Do you have a favorite memory or a favorite moment from all of those years that you kind of go back to when you're thinking about the fact that you hate all of the time that you have to put into it on a weekend?
Oh, there's just so many people that I've met. And there's every year my trails sell out the very first day. And it's only because of the people I've met, my friends. They want to be there. They want to will with us. So they always there. Our groups tend to be about the same. It fluctuates every once in a while, but I've met some really, really good people. And we will with them outside of Jamboree now. And we just really good people. It's the people.
Okay. I'm good with that answer. I'm debating whether or not Tim has like some amazing story to answer this question, or if I should go to Jeff.
A really good story.
Yeah.
I have a couple I could share. Eating the maze.
This is fake news.
I don't believe it already. Yeah, again, I've already thrown my support behind Lorey in terms of believing her in these arguments. So I hate to tell you this. Well, Tim, we'll throw it to you then. Yeah, what's your favorite story or memory that you've got from the last decade of doing this?
You know, I have to agree with Lorey as far as the friends and the camaraderie. Every year is different, right? You're going to have different experiences. That one year throughout the Jamboree, I had a significant number of roles and was nicknamed the Carnage King, which unfortunately stuck.
Wait! You were the one rolling, or you were spotting
No.
rolling? And I'm only asking because I don't. If you're the spotter, I don't want you. Okay.
They were just roles that happened on my trails, either with other trail guides helping or I've never had somebody I was spotting roll ever. However, I've had.
Oh no! You just jinxed yourself.
You're not getting out of that one, Tim.
Wow!
Ask Aaron Mercer how that statement went.
Is there a way to mute other people?
There is, but there's no way for me to keep Aaron Mercer from hearing this.
No, so it's always entertaining, right? Look, that's part of the sport. Nobody is ever going to purposely roll somebody's rig.
No, they're not.
No.
But blank happens, right? And that's part of it. You know, those opportunities I think are fantastic teaching opportunities.
Experience comes 1 second.
Yeah, a lot of the people haven't done recovery extensively before, and so it's a great way for them to get experience at that. You know, I'd say I see more carnage than typical because Lorey will run higher trails than I will typically lead. So I'm at trails where guys can go and buy rigs that qualify. The rig qualifies. There's no way to test the driver, right? And that's always the wild card. So
My secret is I don't lead anything below an 8. It helps.
yeah. Because if you're buying a rig that can do an 8, then you know what you're doing.
That's basically that's kind of why we like doing 8s a lot now. They're great for our Jeeps. There's usually everybody who's on the trail is capable and has been doing this for a little bit of time before they try an 8. It's not, you don't jump right in and be like, oh, cool, I just bought this rig, I'm going to go do an 8. A lot of people do their first trails in Sand Hollow with 5s and 6s or like double Sammy.
Which is smart.
It's like one of the most popular ones. That's our first thing we did was double Sammy, and it was, changed our lives forever.
Those trail leaders need some. Yeah, that's a lot of work. I've led double Sammy once.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the time that we did it at Winter 4x4, poor Tim Saunders.
I watched him just wrap a rope around his neck and run from one side of the mountain to the other and just hook it onto different people.
There was different people.
He just had his own, he just had a recovery rope around his neck and ran up and down double Sammy.
There was stock Gladiator on our run that was really hard to deal with. There was inexperienced people with brand new rigs that they just bought and they're out there just trying to do this rock crawling thing to see if they like it. It's not like Moab. It's way, way, way different. But it's so much fun. Yeah, but I can see why you only lead 8, Lorey. I understand that completely. On the flip side of it, it's actually if it helps other people the way it helped us, then it's kind of something that we need in these events. And then this thing is people who can tolerate guiding the newbies on the trails that are slightly harder than what they should be driving, so that they can learn and decide if they want to keep going at it. Now, because 3 or 4 years later, I feel like we should be out guiding and helping on the trails and not just hopping on and riding with people.
Well, but I love doing the girls run because I kind of help with the girls run. I mean,
Right.
It's Resurrection. I still think the girls should be able to do bigger than Resurrection, but there is nothing funner than being on the girls run, throwing him my keys, having him drive, and then walk next to a girl and like helping her get down like something, and have her. You can look in someone's eyes there's a couple of things. You can look into their eyes and they see fear, and then they get done, and then they're like, okay, I need more of that. Or they're like, I'm never doing this again. And there's nothing like seeing somebody get the bug.
Like someone on Resurrection, one of the girls rolled her 2-door Jeep, but then she got back in and wanted more. And
She wanted more and wanted more and wanted more. And then you have somebody else and they'll see like one of those little bumps or just some little like thing. And they just are like, I can't believe I'm out here. I'm going to go back to 3s and 4s. Like that's my favorite comment is this one girl's like, this was nice, but I'm going to go back to 3s and 4s. And I'm like, but it's fun to see people change.
Yeah, you go either direction from there.
Uh-huh.
And it's events like this that let people grow and get some more experience under their belt. And like we said earlier, it's an opportunity to do some silly things and maybe potentially sign up for some sketchy trail runs with Tim and
But it's
find
a safe
out.
environment.
It
Okay.
is.
What is your?
Do I
It
what's
is a
your-
safe environment.
Do I need to do this with the air quotes again?
No.
Or are we good?
No,
It's not,
Okay.
it's not safe like Yee Jeep safe.
What's
Yeah,
your
if you're-
favorite trail, Tim? To not your favorite trail, but what's your favorite trail to guide at Winter 4x4?
Oh man, I don't know that I have a favorite one to guide. I'm particular to 777s, simply because the first, I don't know, 10 years that that trail existed, I led it. And for my son's Eagle Scout project, he did the signage on it. So the metal sign 777.
Yeah.
That was my son's Eagle Scout project. He did a bunch of those. And that was
That's
the first
awesome.
one he did. So I'm
That's
a little
cool.
partial to that one. Not that it's the most fun. It's actually a pain to lead because it's all single file the whole way.
Yeah.
So your
But,
son gets
it
credit
holds a
for a lot of the
special place.
signs out there.
The early signs, he took down 25 other scouts with him, and we had the St. George Jeepers came in. He had BLM donate money. All the signs were donated, and we went in for a day and put in all those signs for his Eagle Scout project.
That's amazing.
I shouldn't
That's
say
an
all
amazing
of the
story.
signs, the
Yeah,
early signs.
all the early signs.
Yeah, we got you.
There's a
Yeah,
lot of newer
that's
ones
fantastic.
that have been with fancy Upla logos on them that are.
Yeah, Upland's done a
also
bunch lately, and yeah. So
What's
that
your
would be
favorite
the
trail,
big one.
Lori? What's your
Yeah.
favorite trail to lead?
The maze.
The maze? Okay. Oh, we should do the
Kind of
maze.
Always goes
together.
back to the maze.
Mm-hmm. We love the maze.
Very
We do
partial
too.
to it.
We should do the maze together. We need to hang out.
Let me
Yeah,
know
I
when you.
wouldn't recommend it.
Oh,
Oh,
it's not a vote of confidence, Tim. Might be like, that Lori would just.
I mean, at that point. Sorry, so Jeff, you're the only person then who hasn't answered that question. What's your there's now 2 questions wrapped up in this. The first question is do you have a favorite memory over all of these different winter 4x4s that you've done over the years? And then what's your favorite trail to guide? Or do you even do guides?
Yeah,
on the,
yeah. Actually, when we went to
Okay.
4 days, they let me out of the fairgrounds for a couple days. I get to go out and play.
Nice.
So it just 4 days was just too much to put my head into all at once. And the Jamboree is actually ran good enough now that it pretty much runs itself. Friday and Saturday, I need to be at the fairgrounds. I need to organize stuff. We've got a scout troop that comes in, sets up for our dinner, setting up for the raffle. There's just a lot that needs to be dealt with that I have to deal with on Friday and Saturday. So Wednesday and Thursday, I get to go out.
Okay.
My most memorable experience on that mountain is when we first built Plan B. It wasn't the Winter Jamboree. It was an event before this one that Lori knows what I'm going to say. I can see her laughing. So
I'm laughing because I know exactly why Plan B is shorter than it used to be.
Yeah. When we made that trail, it took us a couple months every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and a lot of hiking to make that trail. So I was the very first one to lead it in an event. We left the fairgrounds at 8 o'clock in the morning. We didn't get off the mountain until 1:30 the next morning. And,
Wow.
And I had to be back at 6:30 the following that morning. So that's probably my most memorable trail that I've ever led.
What took so long?
I won't forget it.
Were people
Painful,
scared to
memorable.
death of being off camber
Well,
on that thing? Or?
We
Three
ended up
obstacles.
Yeah, the last 3 obstacles, a lot of people broke there.
Oh.
So we decided to take those 3 obstacles out of the event. After that,
And so now Plan B's three obstacles shorter than it used to be.
yeah, but I had a really good group. I had the Big Orange Jeep Club from up north. The majority of them people were on my trail that day. We all missed dinner. Everybody was hungry. Everybody was cold. Everybody was irritable, and everybody kept their calm. So
That's great.
that was, we ended up pulling 4 completely dead vehicles out of there that night.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's rough.
That's
That's
rough.
some
As
carnage,
someone
yeah.
who's towed and been towed out.
That is a long way to come down with 4 dead vehicles. We were using 2 vehicles hooked together on the dead one just to get them down the sand dunes. Because back then we had a lot more sand.
Yeah.
They just built the reservoir.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So it was
Yeah.
a good time. It was long, but it was a good time. And the people that were on the trail with me, everybody helped out, and I'll never forget it. It was just a good experience, I guess would be the right word to put on that one.
So did they just dump the sand from where they built the reservoir into the sand dunes?
No, the sand dunes
Is
were
that-
there prior to the reservoir. The reservoir they built 22 years ago, 22 or 23. The sand used to blow down to where the reservoir's at and then blow back. Now it blows down
Okay.
in the water, sinks, and we don't get it back. That's why
Oh.
everything's so rampant
Oh,
right now.
that's okay.
And that's why the
Yeah,
terrain
it's a
changes so
natural
much.
flow.
Okay, I was just curious because you said that the sand changed, so I was like, did they like dump it up there or something and it
No.
changed it? Okay, that makes sense.
No, it's all natural.
The cycle's gone. The replacement
Right.
cycle's gone. Yeah.
And the outside of Plan B, that's far out there. That's not. That's kind of a little bit of a distance.
And a hard pull
You-
back up the top of the world.
Oh yeah, you got to come up with some tricks to get those Jeeps out of there. We took my Jeep off of Unforgiven because it broke last weekend, and or 2 weekends ago, and then towing that thing down there. That's a long tow. We had to find our way out. We ended up looking for different trails, but those trails didn't exist then. I don't think. Like we ended up cheating using Razzle Dazzle and Wayne's World to get out, and we only had to tug up to the top of Unforgiven, and then after that it was easy to get out. But I can imagine if you had to pull something like my Jeep through sand dunes, that'd be a nightmare. We had 4 of them.
Yeah, that's just a long day. Like we've talked about some long days on the trail, and that's a really long day on the trail. So do you?
Still fun though.
Yeah, was it though? Like, was it really, Jeff? Do you still like Plan B? Do you not? Do you
No,
avoid it now?
I've ran it a lot. We've had, and Lori can contest to this, we've had some different experiences up there. All the
You ever
way.
have anyone fall off a tilt-a-whirl?
No,
Oh,
no. don't
That's
know that I
all in
would
your
drive
head.
across it in the snow.
I know, but it feels like it would be something. I think that when you're so scared, you're like hugging the wall, but it just looks.
And you really have like 4 feet. But
No,
Yeah.
you feel like you're gonna
it
die.
feels like
We've actually been on that trail. Lorey was leading us one day, and we were surprised, to say the least. Some guy up there on a quad decided he was going to sunbathe naked, and Lorey come up over the top. And
Huh?
you remember that?
Yes, this was way before Sand Mountain was as populated
Yeah,
and used
it
as it is
wasn't
now.
near as populated as it is now, but it was.
I don't think that's going to mean you're not going to run into somebody naked sunbathing on their UTV these days, though. I mean,
Well, you never know.
We will. It's
You never
been
know.
years.
But we've
Years.
actually ran that trail a lot over the years.
Look, we make sure Jeff stays clothed now.
oh, we all appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Me too. I don't think we go up there as much anymore. That trail, the name on that trail, if anybody's curious about that, that was one of the furthest trails out when we made that. So it's like when you group up in the morning and you're discussing where you want to go, and you really can't decide, well, plan B is always out there. So that's how it got its name. And it just stuck.
That's awesome. Well, that's great. I feel like if somebody hasn't put that like into the lore of how it came up with that name, then that needs to be added someplace.
Yeah.
It'll
I'll make sure to get.
show up somewhere.
Okay. Well, thank you guys very much. I feel like we've bugged you for enough time here. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that we should talk about Winter 4x4 or DRATS or anything, or DRATS? Does it rats?
Just that you need to be there. It's a good time. Family friendly.
Come join us.
Winter wheeling. What's not to love?
If the weather's bad and you can figure out how to get here without your Jeep or whatever you're gonna wheel, just come anyway. We'll find you a seat.
Okay, there is that too. Yeah, getting over 70 can be kind of the pain in the butt in January. So
yeah, but
fly out and you can be
just come
passenger
down.
with us.
We'll find you a seat. There's a lot of empty
Take
seats.
you out, JD.
you know what? I'm okay. Wait, answer this. Do you have harnesses?
I do.
Okay, then we're fine. Yeah, I'll ride with you too.
Oh.
We're good. Yeah. Right.
JD learned he liked Randy's safety and security in her Jeep over mine, where I still have the stock safety equipment.
You know what, Pope, I hate to tell you this, but it wasn't just the harnesses themselves. It was the vehicle. It was the vehicle. Yeah, it was the vehicle.
Yeah,
Sure.
Do with the driver.
It's the motor, right?
Nothing to do with the driver. Right.
Nothing
Exactly.
to do with the driver. It's all the motor.
All right. And you guys, and there's still plenty of space and time left to sign up for Winter 4x4 for this year, right?
Yes. If you want to order
Registration.
apparel, our store closes on the 15th. So we're 6 days and then the store closes. We will have apparel for sale at the event, but it is limited.
So if you want it in your size, order it ahead of time, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah,
been
no
our
kidding.
goal. The first year we got stuck with like 8 or 9 boxes of apparel that we had to pay for and couldn't get rid of. So
Pope has some shirts he'd like to send you along those same lines, Jeff.
So yeah, we do order 20 to 25% over our pre-orders, and that's usually gone by Tuesday night, Wednesday at the latest.
I'm kind of partial to this year's apparel, so you want it.
All right. That sounds like someone who had a hand in the design.
No,
Oh,
she
no,
actually
I
did.
didn't have a hand.
Somebody's Jeep might be on the apparel this year.
My Jeep might be apparel.
Cute.
Yes. Vanity is alive and well in all of us, especially with our Jeeps. Yes. Because I don't want to be on the cover of those things, but if my Jeep was on the cover, put 100%.
Put JD's face on an event T-shirt.
No, none of that needs to happen. Nope. No, don't even think about it. No fat stickers, none of those things. So yeah, please check out Winter 4x4 Jamboree. It's winter4x4jamboree.com. If you just search Winter 4x4, actually, I think if you just search Winter 4x4 on Google, it comes up with you guys there. And that is January 15th through the 18th. And then, does DRATS have its own website?
Yes, it does. Winter 4x4 DRATS. No, I'm sorry. We do not.
No, DRATS. No. It's Winter 4x4 and DRATS together.
Okay, it's just one website to rule them all. All right, well, yeah, so check out Winter 4x4 Jamboree. You can get all the rest of the details and the information. The event is, as your clock says here, 36 days, as we're recording this, 36 days, 11 hours, 44 minutes, and 57 seconds. So good luck, guys. I hope you make it through.
It's coming up fast. I can't wait.
Oh, I'm so excited.
You guys put on a great event. Thank you guys so much for all you do for the event, the community around us, and all that stuff. We're really excited to be coming down and hanging out.
So thanks for coming and thanks for supporting us.
Yeah, and then with any of these events that we kind of talk with the local events that go on like this, you guys want to come back and talk about their next one, or if you want to talk about something else in the middle of it, like by all means, I love having you guys back. You're always welcome to our Friday night live shows to just kind of sit around and talk, and it's way more inappropriate than the hour that we had here today.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, it is. It's all right.
Cocktails.
Bring your
cocktails, and we don't bleep things. So yeah, it's fun times.
Yeah, I don't even think I said one F-bomb in our whole episode today.
Wow.
Woo.
No, we didn't. We're getting
so.
No, you're all right. You're good.
No,
you're good.
No, you're fine. Our show is funny because it's on Friday Night Live. It's explicit language, parental advisory, but then our other episodes
we don't do that for our
family
shows,
friendly.
Obviously. Yes, exactly. It's family friendly for those things. So, all right. Well, back to it. I'm sorry. Check out winter4x4jamboree.com. Thank you guys very much for joining us. Lori, Tim, Jeff, appreciate you all. And thank you very much. Please come back and see us again. And we'll see you all next time at the Trailhead.
Thank you.
Daddy, thank you.
Hello, Trailheads, and welcome to the Trailhead. Before the trails start today, we need to have a short safety meeting. Off-roading is an exhilarating but inherently risky sport. The insights and opinions that are shared by our hosts and any experts or guests on the podcast are intended to inform and inspire, not replace professional guidance. The Trailhead guests, partners, and any sponsors are not liable for any actions that you take based on what you hear. It is your responsibility to seek professional advice and make informed decisions, especially when attempting potentially dangerous activities. Always check current trail conditions and comply with local laws and regulations. Off-roading requires careful preparation and respect for safety, so ensure that you're well prepared before hitting the trails. And now that that's out of the way, buckle up and let the stories begin.
Ground shake, pedal down, dust flying, no time to waste. The trailhead's calling, engines fire, we're on a roll. This is where trails start and stories unfold. Under starlit skies, where the wild things roam. Every trail a journey, every Jeep a home. Meet me at the trailhead, where the wild ones run, where the dust kicks high and the day's not done. With the road wide open and the dirt in our soul, this is where trails start and our stories unfold. Our stories unfold. Oh, when the trail gets tough, we crank it up. Dig down deep, yeah, we never stay stuck. Jeeps on the ridge, friends by our side. Off-road family, it's one hell of a ride. Wrecks keep rolling, the days we're with them. Gonna tell our stories round the trailhead again. Meet me at the trailhead, where the wild ones run, where the dust kicks high and the day's not done. With the This is where trails start and our stories unfold. Our stories unfold. Meet me at the trailhead where we roam, where trails start and stories unfold. Meet me at the trailhead where the wild ones run, where the dust kicks high and the day's not